Hey, Voidy Me J here. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're all doing good. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the gang members' graves that you can find throughout the world of Red Dead Redemption. If you've completed the full story and epilogue, you will be able to visit all 9 graves. This is also an achievement called Paying Your Respects. So I'll be giving out some fun facts about the graves and the people buried there. So stick around for the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. At this location, you'll find Jenny Kirk's grave. And if you haven't inspected it, you'll have the opportunity to do that. I've already inspected it here in this playthrough. So it's a pretty simple grave, just some wooden planks with a cross saying Jenny Kirk on it. Not a lot is known about Jenny. She actually, unfortunately, died in the Blackwater massacre. There is a couple of aspects where she's talked about, you know, through the gang, just remembering her, and you can overhear that and things when you're walking around camp. Dutch also mentions her a few times, but she's more mysterious. There is a photo that Arthur draws of her, so I'll show that now so you can get an idea of what she looks like. And I'm also going to show a clip here of the gang mentioning her as well.
How you doing, kid?
Fine.
You know, I'm sorry about Jenny.
Hello,
Sure.
Mr. Morgan.
Me too.
I know you were sweet on her.
Was it that obvious?
Oh yeah, pretty obvious.
I made sure we buried her carefully. I rolled back and planted some flowers she would have liked.
Did you?
Of course. Least I could do.
Thank you.
When I go, I hope they cover my grave with roses.
When I die, I just want to be buried with friends.
Me too. With friends or with family. I don't think it matters more than that.
What about you, Arthur?
Me? I don't care about that nonsense.
Come on.
Face me to the west so I can watch the setting sun and remember all the fine times we had that way.
See, Tilly? I told you Arthur had a soul.
Okay, that's enough for me.
I won't even ask what's in this.
Shout out to Scarlet Sage Gaming there for that clip. A botched ferry robbery that happened in 1899 resulted in Jenny being wounded during the shootout. The gang decided to flee to the abandoned mining town of Coulter in Grizzlies West, Amberino, to escape the law, but Jenny succumbed to her injuries and died before the gang reached their destination. So that's really sad. I wish that we had seen more of Jenny, because she seems like a really cool character, and it'd be cool to see more of her and see what she was like. We can only go off what the gang members have said in the camp and the cutscenes that we got, which was barely any. The only cutscene I can remember is Dutch explaining about Davey and Jenny just being shot. Second grave we're looking at today is Davey Callander's grave here. It's Davey's grave there, and I'll show you the location on the map. It's at Coulter. It's just behind all the other gravestones in front. And yeah, we only ever see Davey's dead body, so I want to show a clip of that now.
Bring him in here!
Miss Gaskell, get that fire lit, quick. Miss Jones, bring in whatever blankets we have. Mr. Pearson, see what we've got in terms of food.
Davey's dead.
There was nothing more you could have done.
What are we gonna do? We need supplies.
Well, first of all, you're going to stay here, and you are going to get yourself warm. Now, I sent John and Micah scouting out ahead. Arthur and I, we're going to ride out, see if we can find one of them. And this, just for a short bit. And I don't see what other choice we have. Listen. Listen to me, all you for a moment. Now, we've had, well, a bad couple of days. I loved Davey, Jenny, Sean, Mac. They might be okay. We don't know. But we lost some folks. Now, if I could throw myself in the ground in their stead, I'd do it, gladly. But we're gonna ride out, and we're gonna find some food. Everybody, we're safe.
So we only really see Davey dead. You can actually witness him dying and injured in the back of the wagon if you pay close attention when you're first in the intro in Red Dead 2, but we don't hear him speak anything like that. Oh, I just hear the gang. I thought I just heard Abigail's voice there, because I'm here as John, so I don't know if it was very quiet, so you might not have been able to hear that, but yeah, I just heard Abigail talking there. It's weird, sometimes I'll just be in these places and you'll just hear Dutch talking or whatever John remembers. It's crazy. But yeah, as I was saying, so Davey was mortally wounded during the failed ferry robbery in Blackwater after sustaining a gunshot wound to the gut. As the gang flees north into Grizzly's West, Davey barely clings on to life and passes away shortly after the group reaches Coulter. He also has a brother named Maccquire. We don't see Maccquire, but he was injured as well in the Blackwater massacre. He escaped, but it basically is implied that he died, and the gang talks about him, references him, and they reference Mac and Davey as really tough guys and brawlers. I'll show you a clip here of Bill Williamson talking about Mac and Davey.
Real shame about them Callander boys, I reckon.
Sure.
You know, I once saw Mac beat up 15 sailors.
That ain't nothing. Everybody knows them Navy boys can't fight. That's why they float.
Oh, that's so.
Sure. That ain't nothing. I once beat up 20.
Okay.
But, I'm gonna miss Mac. He was a good man. Kind of fellow you like to rob alongside,
Yeah.
you know? Heartless son of a bitch. But he had a heart. That makes any sense.
I know what you mean. R.I.P. Mac.
So you can't actually visit Mac's grave because the gang doesn't know where his body is, so that's why we can't find Mac's grave in the game. But it would be interesting to know more about Davey and Mac. There is some conversations that you can come across, depending if you get them in your game or not, where they talk about Mac and Davey. I know Karen also references Davey, Mac and Jenny. She says about how they died as well. Saying that Sean's died, Davey's died, Jenny's died, and Mac's died. So she talks about it there briefly to Tilly in Shady Belle. That's the only other conversation I can recall. I'm sure there's more conversations. I'm pretty sure Sean also mentions to Dutch about Davey when he is returned to the gang as well. If you come to this location, you'll be able to find Sean Maguire's grave. Of course, he died not too far away from here, and when he did die, I was really devastated because he was a great character. And you can't really see there, it's hard to show it off because of the lighting, but it says Sean Maguire, rest in peace. Pretty simple grave. Obviously all the graves are going to be simple because back in these times they did just get a cross made out of wood, maybe pile some stones on top, but he's buried in a really nice place because look at the background there. I'm sure he would love it anyway. But that's all I've got to talk about with Sean's grave, so let's move on to the next gang member. If you come here, you'll find Kieran Duffy's grave, just close by where his body was brought in. And I have to say that Kieran's death was the most gruesome death that we've seen of the gang members. His eyes were gouged out and he was holding his head in his hands. I'll never forget seeing that for the first time. It was crazy. So he was tortured by the O'Driscoll boys. His eyes were gouged out and his corpse was sent back to Shady Bell on horseback, tied up in a manner that displayed his decapitated eyeless head being held in his cupped hands. Soon after, O'Driscoll boys ambushed Shady Bell. And that's obviously because they tortured Kieran until he told them where the Vanderlyn gang was hiding at. So yeah, I would say it was definitely the most gruesome death that we saw throughout the game. It says R.I.P. Kieran Duffy. What a bad way to go out. And yes, you can inspect this grave, and I've already done so. So let's move on to the next gang member's grave. At this location you'll find Hosea Matthews and Lenny Summers' graves. Now if you remember earlier in the video, we can overhear a conversation where Hosea says when he goes out he'd like to be buried with friends, and the gang actually honours this by burying them together, Hosea and Lenny. So I thought that was a really nice touch. And even with Arthur, they buried Arthur how he would like to go out. Obviously Tilly doesn't die, but I'm sure if she did, the gang would do that too. So you can notice that they'll bury the people how they wanted to be buried, which is crazy detail by Rockstar. This one was a really hard-hitting loss. 2 people at one go in the space of a few minutes. I feel like Dutch changed after this happened, losing Hosea, his dear friend. I think he went down a dark path, and Lenny as well. Arthur also, this really hit him hard as he lost a father and son. There basically was like a father and son he just lost in one go. So it was really tragic. And that's all I've got to say on this one, so I'll meet you at the next grave. At this location you can find Eagle Fly's grave. Eagle Fly's grave can be found in the mountains of Amberino, north of Bacchus Station, and to the west of Donner Falls. Eagle Fly's resting spot is overlooking the waterfall. Eagle Fly's was the son of Rains Falls, a great Native American chief. Eagle Fly's was a candle that burned too bright, who was suckered in by the silver tongue of Dutch Vanderlyn. Yeah, really, they shouldn't have got involved with the gang because it just brought tragedy on them, in my opinion. Well, obviously it did, so the chief really regrets getting involved with the gang because now he lost his son. I really liked the characters though. The Native Americans were a breath of fresh air in the game, I felt like. It was just unfortunate that they had to land in with Dutch, and now Eagle Flies is unfortunately dead. At this location you'll find Miss Susan Grimshaw's grave. Miss Susan Grimshaw's grave can be found in the middle of New Hanover between the V and the E southwest of the Legion Pool. Follow the hill's steep edge to the top to find Miss Grimshaw's grave overlooking the valley. Miss Grimshaw was a matriarch of the Vanderlyn gang who died after Micah Bell shot her in the stomach. And her grave has a cool detail here. You can see that her necklace is actually wrapped around the cross. So I thought that was a nice touch, and then it just says Susan Grimshaw on it. It's a really nice spot she was buried in. You know, of like a love-hate relationship with Miss Grimshaw. I thought she was really annoying at some stages where she was like basically trying to whip the girls into shape, but then she grew on me as a character and her death was really sad. Now we just have one more grave to look at, and I bet you'd guess who it is, so I'll meet you there. Here lies Arthur Morgan's grave. Arthur Morgan's grave is located in a beautiful spot in the northern peaks of Amberino, northeast of Bacchus Station. Take a moment to look out over the breathtaking landscape and think about all the great times you had with Arthur. Players who finish the game with high honour will find Arthur's grave covered in flowers. Arthur Morgan joined the Vanderlyn gang as a young man, and in his later years realised Dutch wasn't the man he believed in. Arthur played a pivotal role in ensuring John, Abigail and Jack were able to survive the implosion of the Vanderlyn gang. Arthur did the best to set things right before he finally succumbed to tuberculosis while watching the sunrise over the land he loved. Yeah, very emotional when you come to Arthur's grave, obviously spending so much time playing as him. And I had high honour, so I've got the flowers there. And it says on the grave here, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness." And if you didn't know, John's grave also says this. So let's take a look at that. It doesn't say the exact same thing, but it says 1873 to 1911, "Loving husband and father, blessed are the peacemakers." And then Arthur says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness." So it's the same sort of idea. I think it was an Easter egg to John that they put this on the grave. I feel like that they interlinked the two protagonists through that there, and I thought it'd be cool to mention that. Also, if you get 100% in the game, which I just recently did here on the channel, I have the live stream up if you do want to watch that. And I also posted a YouTube short of the secret cutscene that you can see. And John will come here and he'll write down in his journal and he'll say, "I guess we're just about done, my friend." And I don't want to play it here in the video because it has music in it and I'll probably get copyrighted. So if you do want to check out that cutscene, just check the YouTube short I posted of that. But that's just about it for the video today. I really hope you did enjoy this one. I thought it was interesting to take a look at the graves and point out some details about them that you might not have known. Really, I thought the best one that I came across was the similar writing on Arthur and John's grave. I never thought about that before until the other day when I got 100%. So I thought I'd make a video on it. And if I left out anything, please leave it down in the comments. Also hit the like button, subscribe. If you enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more, definitely consider subscribing and turn on that notification bell because we're always doing live streams, mostly Red Dead. Probably going to be doing a bully playthrough soon, so if you're interested in that, please make sure you turn on your notifications. That's it for the video, everyone. Peace out. I really hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the void. How did he survive? Peace out, everyone. Thanks for watching.